Revealed, the heartwarming moment a girl unexpectedly became her mother's life-changing advocate. In the heart of suburban Ohio, 12-year-old Lily watched her world tremble under the weight of uncertainty. It wasn't just a layoff, it was the moment her mother, Sarah, the vibrant light of their tiny home, dimmed. As a waitress, Sarah juggled plates and dreams, her laughter masking the stress of dwindling savings. She wore her bright smile like armor, even as each hour at the diner grew grimmer. Lily felt the tension in the air, thick and suffocating, like a storm silently approaching. Every evening, Sarah would come home, her hair a tousled mess, but her spirit unyielding. "Just one more shift, and we'll make it, darling," she would say, as if her words could rewrite the narrative of their lives. Yet, as Lily lay in bed, the sound of her mother's tired voice echoed in her mind, and worry coiled tightly around her heart like an uninvited guest. But it wasn't only her mother who needed support. Lily began to sense her own strength stirring. At school, a project on resilience sparked a fire in her. This was no time to be a bystander. When Lily saw her mother face judgment at the job fair disregarded for her age and lack of formal education, something snapped. Lily could be more than just a worried daughter. She rallied her classmates, calling for a bake sale to fund Sarah's job training, hoping chocolate chip cookies could bake a path to a brighter future. She gathered support with fervor, but when the day of the bake sale came, only a handful of friends showed up. Their table laden with gooey brownies and fluffy cupcakes sat neglected under the dusty gymnasium lights. Lily's heart sank like the diminishing dough left behind. The disappointment felt like an anchor, dragging her dreams deeper. On the car ride home, tension bubbled between mother and daughter. Sarah, frustrated but too proud to share the burden, let out her anxiety. "I just want you to focus on your schoolwork, Lily," she snapped. That night, with tears dancing in her eyes, Lily confronted her mother in the flickering twilight of her room. "Mom, I'm scared I don't want to lose you to all this stress." "We can fight together," pleaded voices spilled into the night, raw with desperation. The silence that followed was charged with understanding, casting a warm glow around them. They were bound not just by love but by the choices they would make moving forward. Just when the darkness felt all-encompassing, an email flickered on Sarah's screen. The local mentoring program had noticed her resilience. This life-changing opportunity ignited new hope in their hearts. Both mother and daughter felt the tremors of a budding partnership, renewed trust weaving through their shared space. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, with Lily now stepping into the role of her mother's advocate. Courage swelled through their small home. Their story wasn't just about Sarah's journey, it inspired voices across their community, igniting discussions of hope and opportunity. All the barriers felt closer, and Lily could sense change on the horizon. The echoes of their struggles were palpable, but so was the promise of tomorrow's dawn. As they prepared for the challenges ahead, heartbeats synced, and they stepped forward together into an uncertain yet hopeful future. The days that followed felt alive with possibility. Each morning, Sarah would rush to her new mentoring program, excitement lighting her tired eyes. Lily noticed the change, her mom was rediscovering her spark. They would talk about the lessons Sarah learned, the new skills that opened doors. It wasn't just about finding a job, it was about reclaiming confidence. At home, the atmosphere shifted. They cooked together, laughter filling their small kitchen. Inspired by her mother's journey, Lily found her own voice growing louder. She spearheaded a community discussion group at school to help other kids understand the importance of supporting their families during tough times. Some evenings, they'd sit on the couch, Sarah sharing stories of her day while Lily sketched out ideas for future projects. One night, as Lily flipped through a scrapbook of memories, school plays, family vacations. Her gaze drifted to a blank page at the end. It sparked an idea. Mom, let us create a vision board. We can fill it with our goals. Sarah raised an eyebrow, intrigued. What do you have in mind? Everything we want for our future, Lily said, enthusiasm bubbling. I want to see your dreams and my dreams all in one place. It'll remind us why we're fighting so hard. So, they gathered supplies, magazines, scissors, glue. Late into the night, they snipped and pasted, laughter punctuating their hard work. They found images of vibrant landscapes, words of strength, and symbols of success. As they created, they shared what each dream meant to them, revealing fears and ambitions they hadn't spoken before, but beneath their light-hearted crafting, doubts lingered. Lily nibbled her lip as she pasted a picture of a college graduation cap. What if I don't get into a good college? What if I'm not good enough? Sarah paused, looking at the images crowding their board. Lily, it's okay to be afraid. But remember, we've lived through tough times before. You're more than enough, and you'll find your way. The words wrapped around Lily like a warm hug, soothing the anxious knots in her stomach. They pressed their hands together in a quick prayer, a ritual that felt comforting in its simplicity. With each passing day, Sarah grew stronger. She earned praise from her mentor, opened up about her past struggles, and began to blossom again. But something began to nag at Lily. She felt a mix of pride and fear when she witnessed her mother gaining recognition, nervous about the weight of expectation growing on her shoulders. As the weeks flew by, Sarah received an offer to speak at the community center about her journey, something she hadn't even dreamed of doing. When she shared the news, joy filled the air, but Lily couldn't shake the looming feeling that this spotlight could shift their dynamic. Mom, this is amazing! She exclaimed, masking her worry with a smile. You have to do it. Sarah's smile faded slightly. But what if I mess it up, Lily? What if I can't live up to what people expect? What if you inspire them? Lily shot back, a spark in her eye. The moment hung between them like a fragile thread. Soon, doubt darkened Sarah's expression. I want to be the best for you, but Lily squeezed her mother's hand, you already are the best. Just be yourself. That night, as Lily stared at their vision board, it felt heavier than before. It wasn't just about dreams anymore, it was about vulnerability and the tension of expectations. They could bring them closer or tear them apart. The day of the speech loomed, and Lily's heart raced as she imagined the crowd watching her mother unfold her story. Would this be the moment that made or broke them? With anticipation coiling around her, Lily held her breath, both for her mother's success and for the ripple it would create in their lives. What if this was the start of something huge or the beginning of too much pressure? Little did they know that this gesture of hope would lead to unexpected choices that would change everything for both of them. The day had arrived, the sun peeking brightly over the horizon. Sarah stood in front of the bathroom mirror, her hands trembling as she adjusted her hair. Today was a big deal. A chance to share her story with the community, a chance to finally be seen beyond the hardships she'd faced. Hannah, her mentor, had given her encouragement, but as she looked at her reflection, doubt crept back in. What if she forgot her lines? What if no one connected with her? Downstairs, the aroma of coffee and toast wafted through the air, grounding her. Lily was bustling around the kitchen, prepping a last-minute breakfast, her excitement filling the space. Mom! You look beautiful. Lily said with an enormous grin, her enthusiasm contagious. Sarah managed a weak smile. Thanks, sweetie. I'm just nervous. That's totally normal. Remember, you're not just talking to people. You're sharing your journey. They'll relate to you, I promise. As she said those words, a wave of pride washed over Sarah. This little girl was growing up to be someone incredible. Once they finished eating, they gathered their things, Sarah's nerves bubbling just beneath the surface. Are you ready? Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with hope. Sarah nodded, but deep down, she felt a storm brewing. "Let us do this," she whispered under her breath, more for her sake than Lily's. As they drove to the community center, the city buzzed with life. The traffic lights flickered on, each stop feeling like a countdown. Sarah's heart pounded louder with every passing second. "What if my story isn't good enough?" she finally voiced. "It's not just about the story, Mom. It's about you being brave enough to tell it. You're already strong," Lily encouraged. Arriving at the center, they were greeted by a crowd gathered in the large hall. A gentle hum of chatter and laughter filled the room. Sarah's heart raced, her breath quickening, but Lily held her hand tightly. "Just breathe," Lily said, her voice a soft anchor amid the chaos. The host introduced her. Sarah stood just beyond the curtain, feeling the warmth of the spotlight as it hit her. Her knees felt weak, but Lily's unwavering support drummed courage into her chest. With a soft squeeze of her mother's hand, Lily whispered, "Go make them proud." Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped onto the stage. The light seemed brighter than ever, but she focused on an image from their vision board, a serene landscape she had chosen, representing peace and hope. "Hi everyone. My name is Sarah, and today I want to share my journey." Her voice was steady, yet each word held the weight of her past. As she spoke, recalling the struggles, darkness, and the revival she felt through her mentoring program, she noticed nods of understanding in the audience. Faces reflected empathy and openness, and her confidence grew. The fear quieted as she shared her truths, her heart lightening with every admission. In the back of the room, Lily beamed with pride, seeing her mother shine like she knew she could. Finally, they were not just surviving, they were thriving together. But as Sarah's story unfolded, her voice wavered slightly at the rising crescendo of realization. "I learned that the hardest times taught me resilience, but they also showed me the importance of support. You don't have to carry your burdens alone." A ripple of murmurs spread through the crowd. People were nodding again, connecting deeply. But then, with the weight of her heart on her sleeve, she felt a moment of vulnerability sweep over her as she added, "But here's the thing, I've realized I'm not just a survivor. I'm a mother. And Lily, my girl, you've been my go-to-light on this path." The whisper of surprise danced through the audience, but it was Lily's eyes that shone with tears of love and pride, deepening Sarah's resolve. Just when it seemed she had exposed her soul completely, a new fear crept in. Was she asking for too much from those listening to her? As she took a pause, the silence felt weighty. It was a moment that could turn into something monumental or shatter everything they'd built. But in the hushed air, she heard a soft sound, a few words from someone in the audience. "Thank you for sharing, Sarah." It was a simple phrase, yet it transformed tension into warmth. Slowly, hands began to clap, a wave of support washing over her. But as Sarah scanned the faces before her, a thought flickered in the back of her mind. Did she think her journey was ending here? What ripple effects would her honesty bring? Backstage, Lily nervously wrung her hands, pondering the unknown. What changes would this new chapter hold for them, and could they weather the storm of newfound expectations together? She leaned in, holding her breath, waiting for her mom to step down, already feeling the rush of uncertainty building around them. What would happen next? Sarah stepped off the stage, the buzzing applause still ringing in her ears, but now it felt oddly distant. She caught Lily's eyes as the applause washed over her, noticing the glimmering pride in her daughter's gaze. It was an intoxicating feeling, but it clashed with her growing dread about what her revelation might mean. What now? She thought, her heart still racing. The room was filled with people, each face expressing encouragement and admiration, yet she felt as if she had launched a tiny boat into a vast ocean, unsure of where the tide would carry her next. "Mom!" Lily rushed toward her, practically glowing with excitement. "You were amazing. Everyone loved you. The way you talked about being a mother, it was so heartfelt." "Thank you, Lily." Sarah hugged her tightly, searching her daughter's face for reassurance. Was this truly enough? What if everyone expected her to follow up her story with more? The vulnerability she had shown felt both empowering and frightening. You made them proud. Lily insisted, her small hands gripping Sarah's arms. And you helped them. They were listening, Mom. They were really listening. As the crowd began to disperse, Sarah felt a flutter of hope amid her confusion. Maybe this was the turning point she had longed for. But the looming question of the unknown nipped at her heels. What would happen when the applause faded? Would the community rally behind her? Would she have the strength to embrace whatever they'd expect next? She turned to leave, but a familiar face stopped her in her tracks. It was Hannah, her mentor, a warm smile spreading across her face. That was truly inspiring, Sarah. I knew you had it in you. Hannah's voice wrapped around her like a comforting shawl. Thank you, but now what? I just shared my heart with everyone. They want more. I don't know if I can keep this up. Hannah shook her head gently, her expression serious but empathetic. You don't have to do anything you're not ready for. But know that your story can help so many people. Sharing it doesn't mean you're alone, it means you're starting a conversation. As those words hung in the air, Sarah felt a weight lift just a little. A conversation. Yes, that could be manageable. But what kind of conversations would it spark? In the back of her mind, she worried about the people whom her honesty might touch, but might also unsettle. Were there those watching who wouldn't understand? As she stepped away from Hannah, Lily tugged on her shirt. Can we go home now? I want to celebrate with pizza. Sarah laughed, the lightness breaking through the cloud of anxiety. Sure, pizza sounds perfect, but how about some ice cream too? Yes. Lily jumped in delight, energizing Sarah even further with her enthusiasm. They made their way out of the community center into the soft evening light, the world transitioning into warm shades of orange and pink. But even as they walked, joy intermingled with a creeping apprehension. Each passing car felt like a reminder of the many layers of feedback and expectation waiting for her once they returned home. What would happen when they both lay down that night? Would mama and daughter have heart-to-heart talks about sharing more of their lives, about stepping out of their comfort zones? Or would the quietness amplify the weight of unspoken fears? As they drove away, Sarah caught a glimpse of the center in the rearview mirror, its lights now glowing softly in the coming twilight. She'd conquered this stage, but at what cost? Between maintaining her resolve and navigating the unknown, a thought flickered in her mind. Was she truly ready for what came next, or would sharing her journey turn into an unexpected burden? The road ahead felt uncertain, yet with Lily by her side, there was an undeniable glimmer of hope. Mom, Lily said, breaking her thoughts, do you think you'll do it again? Before Sarah could answer, the shadows of doubt slipped right back in. How would she answer that question? What new challenges lay ahead, and would she be brave enough to face them all? As they approached their favorite pizzeria, the familiar scent of melted cheese and baking bread teased Sarah's senses. The vibrant chatter of families and friends filled the air, a stark contrast to the whirlwind of uncertainty that churned inside her. She felt a tugging sensation in her chest, a mix of excitement for the moment and anxiety for what lay ahead. Can I have a slice with extra cheese? Lily's voice cut through Sarah's thoughts, filled with innocent enthusiasm. Of course. How does that sound? Sarah smiled, determined to embrace the joyful atmosphere despite the lingering doubts clouding her mind. Once inside, they found a corner booth, the kind with shiny red vinyl seats that reminded Sarah of her own childhood. As they waited for their pizza, laughter bubbled up around them. Lily leaned in, her eyes sparkling. Mom, you know what? You should totally do that speaking thing again. It really helped people. Maybe you could even write a book. The spark in Lily's voice melted some of Sarah's worries, but it also ignited new ones. A book? Could it be possible? The thought made her heart race, both with excitement and fear. Maybe one day, Sarah replied, her voice soft. But it's a big step. Why are you scared? You were so brave today. Lily shot back, matter-of-factly, her small hands now resting on the table, eyes locked onto Sarah's. There was a wisdom in her gaze that made Sarah pause. Bravery doesn't mean you aren't scared, sweetie. It's about doing it anyway even when your stomach feels like a roller coaster. The pizza arrived, steam wafting from the cheesy pie. They both dug in eagerly, playful chatter filling the space as Lily regaled Sarah with stories from school. Yet, amid Lily's laugh and the crunch of the crust, Sarah's mind wandered. What if she couldn't keep up this newfound vulnerability? What if others expected her to be the perfect mom and speaker? Mom, Lily's voice broke through again. Do you think anyone else in the audience felt the same way you did? About being scared? Sarah inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of that question settle in. I hope so. But some people might not admit it, you know. Why not? Lily tilted her head, curiosity etched on her young face. Everyone gets scared. You're not alone in that. Her daughter's logic was both illuminating and heartbreaking. Sarah realized that breaking the silence around fear was one way to connect with others. It was about opening a door to difficult conversations, not just about motherhood, but about human experiences. Lily continued with her pizza, unaware of the stir she had created inside her mother. Maybe sharing her story wasn't just about her. Maybe it was a bridge for others too. I guess what I really want is to help others feel like they can share too, Sarah finally said, her voice stronger than before. Just like I did tonight. Then you have to keep talking. Lily insisted, her expression earnest. I want everyone to hear your voice. It's super important. The words hit Sarah like a wave. Could she actually inspire more people than just those in the audience? The thought was overwhelming yet exhilarating. As they finished their meal, a sense of determination stirred within Sarah. Maybe she didn't have to know exactly where this journey would take her. Maybe stepping forward, one conversation at a time, was enough. Driving home, the weight of expectation didn't feel as heavy. It felt manageable. But what if your story is just beginning? Sarah whispered to herself as they pulled into the driveway. The thought lingered, filling her with a sense of anticipation. As they walked inside, hand in hand, she couldn't shake the feeling that a new chapter was waiting just beyond the horizon. Mom, Lily said, her voice softening, can we read together before bed? As Sarah tucked Lily into her covers, a new glimmer of hope ignited within her, urging her to embrace whatever lay ahead. The possibilities sparkled like stars in the night sky. What if they truly embraced this journey together? The moment was serene until another thought flashed in Sarah's mind, leaving her breathless. What if someone from the audience reached out needing her help, and she didn't know how to respond? As the stars began to twinkle outside, painting the night sky, Sarah settled next to Lily on her bed with a stack of books that glimmered with promise. Each cover held a world of imagination and each story whispered adventures yet to unfold. Lily reached for her favorite, the one about a brave knight who overcame great fears to save a kingdom. Mom, can you read the part where he faces the dragon? Lily asked, her eyes bright with hope. Sure, sweetie, Sarah responded, but she hesitated, her heart caught in a mix of pride and longing. Wasn't she herself standing on the precipice of a similar adventure? As she read aloud, a warmth spread through her, a sweet balm against the doubts churning inside. The words flowed, and Lily leaned in closer, drawing comfort from both the story and her mother's voice. Do you think the knight was scared when he faced the dragon? Lily suddenly asked, her little brow furrowed in thought. I think he was, Sarah replied, pausing with the book in her lap. But he chose to be brave. Just like you, Mom. Lily exclaimed, her affirmation bubbling with excitement. You made those people feel less alone today. You're helping them. The revelation struck Sarah with the force of a tidal wave. Connecting her journey to that of the night flickered a light in her mind. Maybe she didn't need to have all the answers. Maybe by sharing her own vulnerable moments, she could help others face their dragons, in whatever form they may take. Lily, she started, her voice trembling with newfound clarity, what if I really did write that book? The room was silent for a moment, then Lily's smile burst forth like sunlight. You have to. You can show everyone how to be brave. Fueled by her daughter's enthusiasms, Sarah felt a rush of courage swell within her. But another thought crept in. What if this was more than just a desire to help? What if it were a chance to carve a path for herself not just as a mother but as a person, an advocate? As they wrapped up the bedtime ritual, Sarah tucked away her insecurities along with the covers that enveloped Lily. You know, it's okay to be scared. It just makes us human. Yeah. And being human means we can help each other. Lily stated confidently, her eyes shining with that innocent wisdom that felt like a shield against the world. In that moment, Sarah's heart expanded. She saw the truth in her daughter's words, as loudly as if it had been spoken out loud. Their exchange was like a lighthouse beam, guiding her through the fog of uncertainty ahead. But what if the truth didn't just stay within the confines of their cozy home? What if she could take that warmth into the world, speak her story, and encourage others to do the same? Tomorrow, we'll start brainstorming ideas for the book. Together, Sarah decided, the thrill of possibility humming through her veins. As she kissed Lily goodnight, Sarah felt a flicker of something that felt like freedom. However, just as she turned to leave the room, her phone buzzed on the bedside table. With a quick glance, she saw a message notification. The name from the audience flooded back into her mind, someone she didn't know but who had spoken up after her talk. What if they really needed her? The question floated in the silence of the night, leaving her heart pounding. What if this was a call she couldn't ignore? What if, after all, her journey began in more ways than one? The glow of the phone screen illuminated the dim room, casting shadows that danced across the walls. Sarah's heartbeat quickened as she picked up the phone. The message was brief but carried a weight that felt heavy in her hands. Your words meant so much to me today. Thank you for sharing your story. Can we talk? Who was this person? And why did they feel compelled to reach out? The uncertainty tangled with her newfound excitement to write and made her pulse race even faster. She scrolled through her contacts searching for familiar names, but none matched the one that flashed on her screen. Mom. Lily's soft voice pulled her back to the moment, breaking the spell. The little girl had cracked her eyes open in the night, her hair messy and her face still innocent from sleep. Is everything okay? Yeah, sweetie. Just checking a message, Sarah replied, forcing a smile to reassure her daughter. But inside, she was wrestling with her own emotions. Can I stay up for a little bit longer? I want to help you. We can talk about the book. The enthusiasm in Lily's plea tugged at Sarah's heart. It was like she felt her daughter's faith in her, a bond that anchored her to her purpose. Okay, just a few minutes, she agreed, settling back on the edge of the bed. Can we brainstorm the story? Lily sat up, her curiosity brightening her sleepy face. What if the knight had a helper? Someone strong who fought beside him? Suddenly, Sarah's world widened. A helper? Yes. Maybe a unicorn or a clever princess. Or a dragon who didn't want to fight. Maybe he just wanted to be friends, Lily suggested with a giggle, her imagination unlocking a treasure trove of ideas. As they bounced thoughts back and forth, Sarah began to feel the excitement needle its way through her veins. This was not just a story, it was a manifestation of the hope, love, and resilience they had shared. They were crafting something special together, each detail imbued with their connection. Minutes turned into a blur of laughter and brainstorming. Yet, as Sarah watched her daughter's eyes sparkle, the message lingered in the back of her mind. What did this stranger want? And more pressing, was she ready to step outside the security of her home, into the unknown of someone else's struggles? Their ideas took form in crayon and paper, illustrations of courage and dreams dancing across the sheets like the warm light of their shared laughter. But Sarah's heart was still torn. The urge to dive deep into this outreach tugged at her, as if the message were a siren song calling her to discover more than just the story they were creating. Lily finished her drawing, looking up at Sarah with innocent hope. "We'll be the best team, Mom. You just have to trust yourself." "Trust myself," Sarah echoed, her voice barely a whisper as she considered the message again. Maybe this was all part of her own adventure, claiming her voice just like the night, confronting the dragons of doubt and fear to embrace what lay beyond her comfort zone. As Sarah tucked Lily back under the blankets, her mind whirled with possibilities. A tug at her heart urged her closer to answering the message. What if this was the moment of truth? What if, for both of them, their bravery could ignite change in more lives than they ever imagined? Determined, Sarah gazed out at the night sky, the stars twinkling with potential. She knew tomorrow would bring the chance to pursue not only her dreams but to reach out and make a difference in someone else's life as well. The moment hung heavy with promise, and as the darkness of the night unfolded, something inside her felt ready to fight. What if by confronting her fears, she could inspire courage in others too? She took a deep breath and whispered, "Maybe it's time I answered." The sun spilled golden light through the window, dancing across the room and nudging Sarah awake. She stretched, feeling the warmth seep into her bones, and for a moment, she forgot about the message. But as she glanced over at her phone, the reality of the night before settled back into her mind. That outreach loomed like a cloud over her day, full of uncertainty but also potential. After Lily was dropped off at school, Sarah took a deep breath and sat down at her kitchen table, the very spot where inspiration had often struck. The distant hum of the street outside filled the silence, and with each passing moment, the swell of courage started to build within her. What if today was the day she took a leap of faith? She picked up her phone. Her thumb hovered over the message, but doubts wormed back in. What could she say? Would her words even matter? The vulnerability gnawed at her, and she nearly set the phone down, but she paused. "Trust yourself," Lily's voice echoed in her mind, pulling her back. Drawing a deep breath, she concentrated. This was not just about her, it was about this stranger reaching out, a life intertwined through shared experiences, perhaps even struggles. "Here goes nothing," she murmured before her fingers began to type. "Hi. Thank you for your kind message. I'm really touched. I'd love to talk." With those few words, something shifted within her. She hit send and felt a rush of adrenaline. It was done. The universe had been set in motion. As the day unfolded, Sarah busied herself with the next chapter of her story, even nudging through her anxieties about the conversation ahead. She was halfway through a sentence when her phone buzzed. Heart racing, she looked up to see a reply waiting. Her breath caught in her throat. "I'm so glad you responded. Can we chat later today? I have so much to share with you." The idea of a conversation filled with purpose sent a ripple of excitement through her. What could this person possibly want to discuss that would hold so much weight? She hastily agreed to a time, a mix of anticipation and nervousness swirling within her. Later that afternoon, she paced her kitchen, rehearsing what she might say. Would this stranger's story resonate with her? Would she be able to help? The clock ticked down each minute, amplifying her anxiety. Sarah could feel the walls of her small home close in around her, every echo and creak sounding like a reminder of her fears. But alongside that fear was something more powerful, the spark of hope ignited by the possibility of connection. As the agreed time rolled around, she settled in front of her phone, a tangled mix of emotions surging within her. The odd thing was how real this felt, like the start of a new chapter, not just for her but for someone she didn't yet know. When the call came through, Sarah answered with a shaky breath, her heart in her throat. "Hello. Is this Sarah?" A soft voice filled the air, laced with both warmth and vulnerability. "Yes, hi." Sarah responded, trying to keep her voice steady. "I'm so glad to hear from you." As they started to chat, Sarah listened intently, her heart growing fuller with every word shared. But just as things began to unfold, she heard something in the caller's voice, an undertone of pain, a story waiting to be told. What had she stepped into? Suddenly, Sarah realized she wasn't just a listening ear. She could be a force of change, a light in someone's dark moment. But could she really take on that role? And just then, as details began to pour in, she knew life was about to reveal why this conversation was meant to happen. "Thank you so much for talking with me," the caller said, breaking the fragile silence. "It's hard to explain. I guess I just felt alone and then I found your name." Sarah drew in a shaky breath, feeling the weight of the words. "I'm really glad you reached out. What is going on?" The voice on the other end hesitated for a moment before continuing, "It's my mom. She's been struggling with depression ever since my dad left. It's like, she's just not herself anymore. I don't know how to help her." Each phrase felt like a gentle push against Sarah's heart, which synced with the pain in the girl's voice. "I can't imagine how tough that must be for you. It's a heavy burden to carry." "I feel so lost sometimes," the girl continued, her voice cracking. "I think about how much I used to look up to her, but now she feels so unreachable. I just want her to be happy again." "Have you told her how you feel?" Sarah asked softly. "I try, but she just says she's fine. I don't know if she's afraid to feel or if she's just giving up." There was a long pause, then a shuddering breath. "I'm scared of losing her." Sarah tightened her grip on her phone. Those words resonated like an echo in her heart, stirring memories of her own struggles. The fear of losing someone, of feeling helpless. She knew that story well. In that moment, the distance between them faded, wrapping them in a blanket of shared pain. "What you're feeling is valid," Sarah urged gently. "You're not alone in this. We can talk about steps you might take to get her help. It's okay to seek support for both of you." "I just don't know where to start," the girl admitted, the vulnerability spilling through the line. "Then let us figure it out together," Sarah said, a spark of determination igniting within her. "What about finding a local support group? There are resources out there. And remember, you can lean on people, too." The girl took a shaky breath, seemingly grasping onto Sarah's words. "You really think I can make a difference?" "Yes," Sarah replied, every ounce of her voice encouraging. "You deserve to feel supported, and so does your mom. It might feel overwhelming, but sometimes taking that first step can open doors you never knew existed." As the conversation unfolded, they laid the groundwork for a plan, a map toward healing that felt both daunting and hopeful. Each shared story added texture to their connection, weaving their experiences into something larger than either could have imagined. "I've never talked to anyone who understands," the girl said, her voice easing slightly. "It means so much that you're willing to help me. And it means a lot to me that you reached out," Sarah responded, her heart swelling with purpose. "It's not just about being there for someone else. It's about finding strength within yourself, too." Sarah could feel the weight lifting, just a little. With every word, each little triumph of vulnerability, they both began to breathe a bit easier. For the first time in a long while, Sarah felt she was on the verge of something transformative, not just for the girl on the line, but for herself as well. As the call wound down, the girl's resolve seemed reignited. "I'll subscribe to some resources. I promise I'll keep fighting for her. You've really helped me today." They said their goodbyes, but Sarah knew the conversation would echo long after it ended. With a sense of clarity washing over her, she couldn't shake the thought, this was just the beginning. What was it that they set in motion? As the warmth of shared purpose wrapped around her, she decided she wouldn't just stop here. Then a sudden ping came from her phone, pulling her back to the present. A new message lit up the screen, and Sarah felt her heart leap. But the words waiting there were like an unexpected twist in a story she hoped would only get more hopeful. Sarah's heart raced as she read the new message. "I just heard your talk at the community center. I need help. Can we chat?" Throughout her day, Sarah had been on such a high, fueled by her empowering conversation with the girl struggling with her mother's depression. But this new message brought her back down to earth, rushing back a wave of uncertainty. Could she handle this? Was she strong enough to take on another story? But then she remembered Lily's bright face, her daughter's unwavering belief. "Trust yourself," she whispered, reminding herself that she had already crossed many thresholds, tread paths once clouded by fear. Taking a deep breath, Sarah replied, "Of course. I'd be happy to talk. Let me know when." The reply came quickly this time. "How about in an hour? I like coffee too." "Sounds perfect, I'll be ready." As she tidied up the kitchen, Sarah felt her previous confidence return. She prepped a cup of coffee, its steam curling into the air like a promise. Each moment pressed into her day felt tangible, as if she could feel the weight of lives converging in the small space between her fingers and the mug. An hour felt like mere minutes, and as soon as her phone dinged, she grabbed it instantly. "Ready?" "Hey, Sarah. I'm Lucy," said an excited voice on the other end, laced with both nerves and eagerness. "Thanks for meeting up. I really need your help." "Of course," Sarah said, her tone filled with encouragement. "Let us talk. What has been going on?" Lucy took a deep breath. "It's my dad. He left us about 2 years ago, and my mom has just really struggled since. She's not the same anymore. I feel like I'm supposed to be the strong one, but I just don't know how." A sympathetic nod formed on Sarah's face as she listened closely. Lucy's story echoed within her own heart. "Being strong doesn't mean you have to do it alone," she reassured. "It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to not have all the answers." Lucy paused, as if absorbing the words Sarah shared. "But I don't want to let anyone down," she said, her voice wavering. "I know how you feel," Sarah replied softly. "But sometimes, reaching out is how we pull ourselves up. And having someone by your side can make a world of difference. Have you thought about talking to someone who understands your mom's situation?" Lucy's breath hitched. "I want to, but I'm scared it will make her feel worse. Trust that it will help in the long run. You also need support too. I'm here to help you figure out the next step." The conversation flowed on, their hearts intertwining with shared experiences, hopes and fears echoing softly like a heartwarming song. As their time together drew to a close, Lucy's voice transformed. "I can do this. I can be there for her." "Thank you, Sarah." Sarah felt a rush of heart-swelling pride. "You're so brave for opening up, Lucy. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. You're not alone in this." Once they hung up, Sarah found herself sitting back, tears of joy brimming in her eyes. As she looked around her kitchen, she realized this moment was more than just a simple conversation, it was a thread weaving through a larger fabric of purpose. Just as she had stepped into the light with her own challenges, she was now lighting the way for others. With renewed resolve, she picked up her phone again, texted Lily, and felt an overwhelming urge to start crafting their book this very minute. "Hey. Let's brainstorm some ideas for our time-traveling knight and his friend." Moments later, Lily's enthusiastic reply flooded in, lighting up Sarah's thoughts like 1,000 fireflies on a summer night. After settling Lily down for bedtime, breezes swept through the windows, and they sat together, joy shared between them, hearts aligned in hope. "Mom, can I tell you a secret?" Lily whispered, eyes sparkling. "Of course, my brave little knight," Sarah grinned. "I think we're gonna change the world, just like in our stories." Sarah pulled her daughter close, warmth flooding her heart, as she realized the truth of their journey. "Yes, sweet girl, we already are." And together, they began to write their own story filled with courage, connection, and a promise to always advocate for one another because in the end, they weren't just transforming their lives, they were quietly igniting a light within their community, ensuring that no one remained lost in the dark. And now, it's your turn. You need to subscribe now to keep up with these exclusive transformations and heartwarming stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and share the love. Comment below to share your thoughts and reactions about this incredible ending. And don't wait not even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support.